Good morning, my dear children. In the last lecture, the last topic which we discussed was mitochondria. Mitochondria is an organelle of cell which is present both in the plant cell and animal cell. It is a double membraned structure, and the main function of mitochondria is to generate energy. It has got respiratory enzymes, and these respiratory enzymes, they act on carbohydrates and they release energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Energy is in the form of ATP. Now we have a question that mitochondria is double membrane. The outer membrane is porous, while as the inner membrane, it is deeply folded. Now, why the inner membrane of mitochondria? It is deeply folded. It is deeply folded so that more of the carbohydrate, children, it can be broken down with the help of respiratory enzymes, and more of energy it is released in the form of ATP. The inner membrane, it is folded so that more of the energy can be released because the surface area increases when the inner wall, it is deeply folded. So mitochondria's basic function is the release of energy with the help of respiratory enzymes. The very important thing, a very important organelle next is plastids. Now see children, plastids are present only in plant cells. Plastids are again double membraned structures, and these are the largest cell organelles, and very important characteristic feature of plastids is that it is self-autonomous. Self-autonomous means it has its own ribosomes and it has its own genetic material, that is DNA. Self-autonomous. Now see, plastids, they are of three types. That is, first one is chloroplast. You know that chloroplast, plast word derived from plastid. It is a green part of the plant. It contains green pigment, and it is responsible for carrying out photosynthesis, and this plastid is present in all the green parts of the plant like your leaves, your stems, your twigs, etc. Second is chromoplast, which is present in flowers and fruits and is responsible for giving colors to the fruits, flowers, vegetables, etc. Leucoplast, it is a colorless plastid without any pigment. It does not have any pigment, and it stores a starch in potatoes, rice, grain, etc. So we have studied three types of plastids: chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Now here are the functions of plastids. As you can see in the diagram, let me explain you the diagram. The diagram which you can see of a plastid, it is double membraned structure, right? You can see that there are green bundles, and these green bundles, they are called thylakoid. It has an inner membrane, it has an outer membrane, sacs called thylakoid, which has got chloroplast. This is a structure of a chloroplast which we can see in the diagram, right? And the whole thylakoid, it is called granum, and there is stroma, a matrix, a liquid present in the plastid. So you need not go for the diagram of plastid, just have a look. And functions of plastids, we have already done that. Chloroplast, it helps to carry out photosynthesis, hence called the kitchen of the cell. Chromoplast, it gives colors to fruits and flowers, and which attracts insects for pollination and also helps in the dispersal of fruits. The third type of plastid which we did was leucoplast. Now leucoplast, I told you, it is a colorless plastid and it helps in the storage of the food. Again, pay attention to the diagram of plastid, that is chloroplast, which you can see it is a double membraned structure. The green part which you can see in the diagram, these are the chloroplast where photosynthesis takes place, which is important. Now we have another structure called vacuole. Vacuole in plant cells, it is present, a big vacuole, it is present in the center of the cell, and in animal cells vacuole is usually absent, or very small vacuoles, they are scattered in animal cells. Now very important question it arises, why vacuole it is absent in animal cells? Now see, the major function of the vacuole is to remove the waste out of the body. Now we have a mechanism, animals, they have a mechanism to remove the waste out of the body, right? We go to the washroom and we throw the waste out of our body. But plants, they do not have such kind of mechanism. They have vacuole which they use it for the removal of waste out of the body. And one of the major functions of the vacuole is that they help to the storage of many materials takes place in the cell. These are fluid filled membranes which are present in the cytoplasm. Because it is present in the center, it gives turgidity. Turgidity is water pressure. It has got water, and because of the pressure of the water, all the organelles, they remain at their places. Second major function is it helps in the storage of the food material. Third function is it helps in osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means water regulation. It helps to maintain the water level in the cell. Food vacuole in protozoans, it helps in the digestion of food, right? Now we have a very small but a very important structure called ribosomes. As I told you earlier, ribosomes, these are very small bodies which are spherical in shape, and these ribosomes, the main function of the ribosome and only function of the ribosome is that they help to synthesize proteins. The protein, they are called the protein factories of the cell. These ribosomes are very, very small. Either they are found floating freely in the cytoplasm, or they are attached to the surface of the endoplasmic reticulum. Remember I told you when ribosomes, they are attached to endoplasmic reticulum, they are called rough endoplasmic reticulum, that is RER. So ribosomes are small spherical organelles which do not have a membrane. They can be found floating freely in the cytoplasm or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. And the major function of ribosomes is that they help to synthesize proteins and called the protein factory. Plastids, they are called kitchen of the cell. Mitochondria called the powerhouse of the cell. Ribosomes called the protein factory of the cell, nucleus called the control center of the cell. Now, we have a question showing the difference between animal cell and plant cell. As we have studied all the cell organelles, we will be able to distinguish between an animal cell and a plant cell. You have already done in class 8th this difference. Diagrams you are acquainted with. So animal cells, they are generally small in size, and plant cells, they are larger in size. Cell wall, as you can see in the diagram itself, that cell wall, it is absent, and the cell wall is present in the plant cell along with plasma membrane. Except the protozoans, that is Aglena, no animal cell possesses plastids. Aglena, a single-celled organism, a protozoan, it has plastid, but animal cells, they lack plastids, and plastids, they are present. Vacuoles are more in plant cell while as absent in animal cells. Animal cells have a single highly complex Golgi bodies. Plant cells have simpler units of and prominent Golgi apparatus called dictosomes. So, Golgi bodies in animal cells and same called dictosomes in plant cells. Animal cells have a centrosome and centrioles, while as plant cells lack centrosome and centrioles. Now see, what are centrioles? These are thread-like structures which lead to the formation of flagella, cilia for movement in animal cells. So that's all for today. We will discuss about exercises in the next